Welcome to After the Flag, where Marc Marquez remains the king of COTA. Which may not surprise you, but what might do, Matt, is that he kind of ran away with it.
He did, it really after Argentina. I mean, it was the calm after the storm, wasn't it, in many respects today for Marc Marquez. As we expected, dominant throughout the weekend, really. Should have had pole position apart from that impeding incident with Maverick Viñales in Q2, but once he got to the front, he could not have dreamt that race any better last night when he went to bed. Got to the front very early, a little bit of an early skirmish with Andrea Iannone, and then he never looked back. 6 straight wins here out the circuit of the Americas, 10 straight wins in MotoGP here in America, and 12 all in all. Great day for Marquez, great way to bounce back from all the turmoil of Argentina, and he's right back in the championship contention as we expected.
Steve, as Matt just mentioned there, Andrea Iannone was really the only man to have anything for him out there today. And what a great way to silence the critics.
Yeah, absolutely. Andrea Iannone's been under so much pressure. Last season he had some difficulties. Misano, I mean, there were talks of him actually losing that seat altogether. And yet he's believed in himself the whole way through the winter. Start of the season, a completely different Andrea Iannone as well, it's fair to say. And he comes back here, and I think he kind of just proves that he deserves his place here in MotoGP, and maybe even with a factory ride.
Well, Maverick Viñales was the man to separate them on the podium. Is it too early to say at the moment that maybe this is the sign of more positive things to come his way?
Thankfully for Maverick Viñales fans and for Yamaha, it looks like Maverick's got his mojo back. He looks like the Maverick Viñales that we saw at this time last year. What he's done, it seems like he's made that Yamaha a little bit more wild. He's taken control back in his right hand, taken out some electronics. He's gone wild, he's gone a bit nasty, as has his motorcycle as well. And Maverick just looks like a completely different rider, which we saw in winter testing. Really, his season started in FP4 in Qatar, and we're coming now to a phase of the championship, Jerez, Le Mans, where he was so strong last year, Mugello and Barcelona. Maverick loves those tracks, so does the Yamaha. So even though he hasn't won a race so far this year, he's right in championship contention. It's been a great start to the year.
Well, both Maverick and Marc gained valuable ground in the championship, Steve. But Andrea Dovizioso was the man to come out on top, heading into Jerez as the championship leader, which is a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, who would have thought that Andrea Dovizioso, given the form he's had all weekend here in the USA, would actually end up as championship leader, albeit pretty close. There's 8 points separating 5 riders as we go into Jerez. 5th place today is a really strong result for Andrea Dovizioso when you consider who else was out there. Crutchlow, obviously Johann Zarco as well. So I think he'll be pretty happy to be going into Europe off the back of, let's be honest, 2 average rounds in Argentina and America as the championship leader. He'll be really, really happy tonight.
You mentioned Crutchlow there, and we did see a few crashes in the race today, but perhaps the 2 biggest casualties were Cal Crutchlow and Alex Rins.
Yeah, Cal Crutchlow, of course, it was a short-lived experience, unfortunately, at the top of the World Championship standings, wasn't it? The highs and lows of racing perfectly demonstrated in these last 2 weeks. A brilliant win for Cal in Argentina, the first British rider to lead a Premier Class World Championship since 1977. Back to the drawing board in many respects for Cal Crutchlow, and contrasting fortunes for the factory Suzuki team. Andrea Iannone, a fantastic first podium for him on the GSX-RR, but Alex Rins, tough qualifying, 2 crashes in 3 races, a podium sandwiched in between. He's got to find some consistency as Alex Rins, because he's got the pace, no doubt about it, but he's got to cut out those mistakes.
One man we have to give a nod to for his heroic effort here this weekend is Dani Pedrosa.
Wow. Matt covered it in commentary and said the perfect word, Herculean effort. I mean, it was incredible. I have to be honest with you, when we arrived here, I was wondering why they didn't bring Stefan Bradl with them, because I didn't think that Dani would make it past the first free practice session. And wow, from free practice 2 onwards, and today, I mean, he was tagging along with some great company. It's only 9 points that he's picked up, but they will be, I think we all agree, the biggest 9 points that he's ever won in his life.
Yeah, if you go through the dictionary tomorrow morning and look up the word brave, the definition next to it will be Dani Pedrosa. I mean, it was a superhuman effort. Just to be here was a miracle. Fantastic to see him gritting his teeth, riding through the pain barrier. Brilliant, brilliant ride by Dani Pedrosa. All credit to him.
Well, it has to be said, that's perhaps the quietest race we've seen in a long time. We've just been so lucky that MotoGP action for the last couple of seasons has just been insane. But we're going to get back to it in Jerez, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. It'll be interesting in Jerez in a couple of weeks' time. The crucial start of the European phase of the championship. Interesting, the new surface at Jerez, so a lot of the riders will be going in there a little bit cold, but it's always a great carnival. fiesta atmosphere in Jerez, you know, and with the championship so tight and with the Spaniards doing so well, with Viñales and Marquez right in contention, cannot wait to get to Europe. There's going to be over 100,000 fans packing into Jerez. It's going to be absolutely incredible. Can't wait.
It's going to go off. We need to have a quick mention of our Moto2 and Moto3 races, which were action-packed. Firstly, Moto2, Francesco Bagnaia, way to turn around a weekend that started off actually quite miserably.
Well, if anyone here in Texas can tell me where that came from, then please, because Pecco Bagnaia at the start of the weekend, he was 12th after a crash on Friday. I remember speaking to Neil and Matt, who were in commentary on Friday. Pecco Bagnaia was not part of the top 6 plans, let alone podium, let alone win. An unbelievable day. And this is a guy that lost his rag. He's punching his tank, he's losing. There was no way he was going to be on the podium today. Brilliant effort, and just goes to show how strong he is going to be this year.
And Matt, Moto3, Jorge Martin, this is only the second time he's actually managed to convert a pole position into a win.
He's the standout rider right now, Moto3, Amy. 3 wins in the last 4. All the hype and expectation on him coming into the championship as the pre-season favourite. That brings with it its own pressure. He's handled it quite brilliantly. He's coped like, you know, he's a seasoned veteran in this championship. He's going to be really, really hard to beat. 2 wins in the first 3. It's going to take some beating Jorge Martin.
Well, we shall see in Jerez. Now listen guys, it's been a pleasure to share the floor with you this weekend. Simon will be back in Jerez, but from all of us here at the Circuit of the Americas, goodbye for now.
Marquez for the lead, surely the world champion goes through, yes he does.
Marco Crutchlow's lost control of his LCR Honda and the lead in the MotoGP World Championship.
6 and not out for Marc Marquez in his 93rd Grand Prix at the Premier Class.